call the meeting for the Planning and Zoning Commission, Longview, Texas, for June 21st, 2016 to order. We'll have our invocation at this time, if you'll stand.
Dear Father, thank you so much for bringing us together. Be with each person in this room, be they a commissioner, a staff person, or a member of our community. Bless us all and pray that our work is to your glory. In Christ's holy name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Commissioners. Our first item of business is the approval of our minutes from May 17th. Are there any additions or corrections?
I have a question.
Yes.
I was not here, so I was looking at your start time of 5:30 and your adjourn time of 5:21. And I thought that sounded like a great meeting to be minus 9 minutes long, but I'm not exactly sure how long your meeting was.
Well, I'm just going to let staff address that.
It'll be fixed.
Okay.
It was a short meeting, but it wasn't that short.
Any other items? All right. We will correct the adjournment time for these minutes, and with that correction being identified, do we have a motion for approval?
Make a motion to approve minutes.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes with the correction for our May 17th meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Minutes stand approved. The items on the consent agenda are plats that meet the requirements of the City of Longview subdivision ordinance. These items will be approved with one vote unless any member of the Planning and Zoning Commission, any member of the public, or the applicant would like an item removed from consent and placed on the regular agenda for discussion. We have no consent agenda
That is
for
correct.
this evening. Regular agenda. The purpose of this meeting is to hear all pertinent testimony of those in support of and in opposition to the applications before the board. Tonight is the first of two public hearings required to approve a change in zoning. The board also considers plats. The procedure for public hearing items to be followed tonight will be: the public hearing will be opened and testimony will be heard in the following order: the applicant, staff, the general public, those in support and in opposition to the request. If you're part of a large group with a common interest, we ask that you appoint a spokesperson rather than having each individual restating the same information. When addressing the board, please begin by stating your name and address. Try to limit your comments to 5 minutes. When all sides have spoken, the public hearing on the matter will be closed. No further public discussion will be entertained. After each public hearing is closed, the board will vote on the request. Zoning requests and the Planning Zoning Commission's recommendation will go forward to the second public hearing, which will be conducted by the City Council on July 14, 2016. All right. On our agenda, regular agenda, the first item we have is RP 16-07. Public hearing will be held to consider application RP 16-07 filed by ETH Building and Properties, LLC, to replot Lot 24 NCB 1220, Lewis Chapel Addition, into 2 residential lots located on the south side of Oak Street and east of Smith Drive. Is the applicant present? Name and address, please.
Good evening. I'm Aaron Alston. I'm here representing East Texas Homes. And what we've got here, what she's got pulled up are some lots on Oak Street in Longview that is being developed, some by us, some by another builder. And these are were older 100-foot lots. Some had old houses on them, some didn't, but these are 2 lots, both on the agenda item A and B, for lots that we're looking to replat into 2 50-foot lots from 100-foot lots. And there'd already been some development on the street and the lots that are being developed are 50-foot lots as well. So this is consistent with the way the neighborhood's developing.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant from the commission? None at this time. Staff?
Thank you. The applicant, as stated, is requesting to replat Lot 24 into 2 residential lots located on the south side of Oak Street, east of Smith Drive. Water, sewer, and fire protection have been extended. This replat complies with all City of Longview requirements, and staff recommends approval of this replat. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
No questions for staff at this time? Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
We'll now open the public hearing for application RP 16-07. If there is anyone present who would like to speak in support of this application, please come forward at this time. If there's anyone present who would like to speak in opposition to this application, please come forward at this time. There being none present, the public hearing is closed. Do we have questions, or are we ready for a motion from the commission? I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion for approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve application RP 16-07. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There being none, application RP 16-07 is approved. Next item, RP 16-08. Public hearing will be held to consider application RP 16-08 filed by ETH Building Properties LLC to replat Lot 18 NCB 1220 Lewis Chapel addition into 2 residential lots located on the south side of Oak Street and east of Smith Drive. Applicant? I know you already told us, but we got to go through
Basically the same thing.
we got to
Just-
follow.
Sure, I understand. This is just about 4 lots down, same side of the street.
Okay. The applicant is doing the same thing here, had to be handled under separate applications.
Yes, sir.
So, do we have any questions? No questions, staff?
Thank you. The applicant is requesting to replat Lot 18 into 2 residential lots on the south side of Oak Street. This replat complies with all the City of Longview requirements, and staff recommends approval of this replat, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
There being no questions for staff at this time, thank you, sir. We'll now open the public hearing on this application. Anyone present wishing to speak in support of it? Anyone present wishing to speak in opposition? There being none present, the public hearing on this item is closed. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion that we approve.
Second.
It's been moved and second to approve the application. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Application stands approved. Our next application, PV 16-03. Public hearing will be held to consider application PV 16-03 filed by Jose
Minhivar.
Minivar for a, thank you, for a variance to the subdivision ordinance, section 92-102A, to allow for a 98-foot lot depth instead of the minimum 100-foot lot depth required set forth in the zoning ordinance for approximately .210 acres of Lot 1, Block 1,
Minhivar.
Menhavar addition, located at 202 Charlene Street. Is the applicant present? Please come. Give us your name and address for the record, please, Mr. Menhavar.
Yeah, my name is Jose Menjivar. I also coming to ask if they can replat the lot, this lot, for building 2 different residential homes. The size is, she said the minimum is 100 feet, and I have 98, but I have a 93.5 wide I have more wider like I need it for.
Okay. So you're missing about 2 feet here.
Yeah, 2 feet.
Okay, all right. Any questions for the applicant? Staff?
Thank you. The applicant is requesting a variance to the subdivision ordinance. For single-family 4, which this is zoned SF4, the required lot width is 60 foot wide and 100 feet deep, with a minimum lot size of 7,500 square feet. The applicant is requesting to replat 1 lot into 2, with the proposed east lot at 106.5 feet wide, and the west lot at 93.5 feet. The depth for both of the lots do not meet our minimum 100-foot requirement. They're both at 98 feet, but both lots do exceed our minimum lot size with around approximately one at about 10,400 and so square feet, and the other one about 9,000 square feet. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Questions for staff?
One question. The first lot is the one that is under construction at this time,
Yes.
is that correct? And that's the larger of the 2?
Yes, 6, because I move them from the corner 6 feet more for keeping off the corner. I have like 40 feet off the corner and like 33 from the front, plus another 10 is for row or something between the row. I have a 45 from the row. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. You may take a seat. We'll now open the public hearing for application PV 16-03. Anyone present wishing to speak in support of this application? Anyone present wishing to speak in opposition to this application? There being none, the public hearing is now closed. Questions from the commission? If there are no questions, we'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve application PV 16-03. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Application PV 16-03 is approved. Our next application, Z16-01, Z16-01. A public hearing will be held to consider application Z16-01 filed by Adeline Bonita, requesting a rezone from single-family SF2 to general retail GR for approximately 0.571 acres of lots G1 and H Block 111, LL Woolley subdivision located at 107 West Magnolia Lane. Is the applicant present? Please come, give us your name and address, and tell us what you're wanting to do here.
I'm Adeline Bonata, and I live at 1702 Cardinal Street here in Longview, and have lived at that location this year over 50 years. What else do you request to hear? We'd like to rezone the lot, or I should say, I would like to, I'm the owner of the property, from single family now to general retail. And there was some confusion in the courthouse on the record keeping when I went to make some inquiries, that it had already been zoned general retail because there is a bank immediately on the corner. And then I think at the time, it could have been, this is speculation, when the street was to be widened and improved on, that it was then scheduled to be single-family rezoning, and I would like to have a general retail zoning application for that property.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Any questions for the applicant? Staff?
Thank you. The applicant is requesting a rezone from single-family to general retail for future development. Magnolia Lane is a collector, which is appropriate for retail-type uses as long as access management is followed. Staff finds that the proposed zoning change is consistent with the future land use map and surrounding uses. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
No questions for staff at this time? Go ahead.
How far off of Judson will this continue? What's the future land mass for curtail for that? I mean, I know
If you look at
there's
the, if you look at the future land use map, you could see kind of in that purple is retail. Back a little further, unfortunately, I don't have a future land use map zoomed out further, but MUN is mixed use neighborhood. I'm not sure, off the top of my head, I can't remember how far it goes, but this is, the future land use map does designate this area for retail.
Where does that street access off of Magnolia Lane into those apartments?
I believe, let me see if I can get the aerial to pull up.
a lot skipping in there.
Yeah, there's a few other lots down, and then it's, I think it's either this one, it may be a little further
So are
down.
the other two structures in between there gone now?
No, they're still here.
Okay. Thought they were.
Yeah.
I went through there yesterday.
We have any other questions for the staff at this time? Any questions for the applicant this time? You may be seated.
Thank you.
This particular property is right behind that Southside Bank, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
It is directly adjacent to it.
Right. And then moving north from there, Southside occupies those properties, and then that's where we start the new development for the apartments and so forth
Yes,
that's
sir.
occurring.
They're directly south of those apartments.
Okay.
They share a property line.
Okay.
Here,
Yeah.
there is a house.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Looks currently like there is a residence or a structure there?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, there's currently a structure there on that piece of
Okay.
property.
All right.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right. If we have no other questions right now for staff, we'll open up the public hearing for Z16-01. Anyone here present wishing to speak in support of this application? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition to this application? There being none, the public hearing is now closed. Commissioners, do we have any additional questions? We'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve.
Second.
Moved and second to approve application Z16-01. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? There being none, application Z16-01 is approved. PD 16-06, public hearing will be held to consider application PD 16-06 filed by Marley Barker requesting to rezone approximately 0.16 acres of AB 177 William Robinson Survey, TR1-09, Section 1, from SF3 to PD Single Family Detached, located on the west side of Andrea Street, north of West Sherrill Street. Is the applicant present? Please come and tell us, give us your name and address and tell us what you're doing.
My name is Marley Barker. I live at 3641 Harley Ridge Road, and we're wanting to rezone a piece of the property and to reflect the zoning of the surrounding neighborhood. Originally, there was an oil pipeline, or they had an easement to drive through there, and it's been removed. So now we're wanting to rezone it to put a house on there.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant at this time?
Why does it have to be rezoned to a PD? Why can't it go back to SF3?
Because the lot size is smaller than SF3,
We'll
the
go ahead
lot
and get-
size and the house
Why don't you
size.
go ahead and give us some
Okay,
staff?
sure. The applicant is requesting to rezone from SF3 to Planned Development Single Family Detached to allow for the construction of one single-family home. The original plan development was developed in 1983, and it platted 31 single-family detached homes with a minimum lot size of 3,900 square feet and a minimum house size of 899 square feet. The minimum lot width was 40 feet, and the minimum lot depth was 90 feet. In 2006, another developer came in and rezoned the existing property facing Andrea Street to create 6 more additional lots within the existing neighborhood, reflecting the same requirements in the original PD. The proposed site plan shows a single-family detached home with a front setback of 20 feet, a rear setback of 10 feet, and side setback of 3 feet. And he will comply with all of the other existing regulations within the PD as far as lot size and all that, all the other stuff. The home will be a minimum of at least 899 square feet, and the purpose of this plan development is just to rezone it so that it complies with the rest of this neighborhood seen here in the green. That's the rest of the PD. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
So we're doing this to make sure we stay consistent?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You may be seated. Any other questions for staff? There being none, we'll now open up the public hearing on PD 16-06. Anyone present wishing to speak in support? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? There being none, public hearing is now closed. Any additional questions from the commission? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve application PD 16-06. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Application PD 16-06 stands approved. PD 16-07, a public hearing will be held to consider application PD 16-07 filed by Kyle Smith requesting to rezone approximately 5.27 acres of AB 258 PP Rain Survey, TR 2-04, Section 9, from Agriculture A to PD, single family attached, located on the north side of Hawkins Parkway between Bill Owens Parkway and McCann Road. If the applicant is present, please come forward. Give us your name and address and tell us what you're doing.
Thank you. My name is Joe Hart. I'm with Johnson & Pace Incorporated in Longview, 1201 Northwest Loop 281. I'm representing the developer, Kyle Smith. This proposal is to rezone from agricultural use into a planned development use, which would allow for single-family attached houses, or commonly known as townhouses. And we're proposing 23 units on this 5.27 acres, which is dwelling unit density of 4.36 lots per acre, or units per acre, which still falls within the definition of a low-density development. The amenities, we're going to have a very large and very grand entrance with, it's going to be a private street, gated, very heavily landscaped. There'll be a park area that fronts Hawkins Parkway, that's again is landscaped and just an amenity for the subdivision. You know, very, very good curb appeal from within the subdivision. Sidewalks. The front setbacks are 15 feet. That's what off the front, which will create just a real quaint subdivision. And the units are going. The intent is to make each of the structures, which some will have. Most of them will have 3 units per structure, to look like a really large house, and with the intent of trying to hide the fact that it's multiple units in the house. It's just going to look like a big house where you won't have 2 garages right side by side. They're on the fronts and the backs and the sides in a way to make it look like a big house. And you have to really look at it to realize that it's a multiple units in the house. I'd be happy to answer any questions. I think that's most of the general features.
Just out of curiosity, what size will the townhouses be approximately?
We've set a minimum, which, you have to just fill in something for a minimum of,
1,200 square feet.
and, but in reality,
Right.
I mean, Kyle, would you say you're,
Can I stand it? The minimum square feet is going to be, the average square feet is going to be an 1,800 square foot range, something like that. It's intended to have a minimum square
If
feet
you
of
would-
building and somewhere in the neighborhood of 4,800 square foot or something like this. But again, it's similar in design, each home is
If you would, come up.
Yeah.
Because we're missing you. Give us your name and address, please.
My name's Kyle Smith. I'm the developer, and I live at Hawkins Parkway, 1403 West Hawkins, adjacent to this property. And there's a few of you who may know where my house is, and one of the things about my home, if you look at it, somebody could say, well, it looks like a duplex. We've got a big, nice metal front door, main entrance, and then there's a secondary door. But in fact, it's a single unit structure. Well, the same thing would apply here, only they'd be multi-unit structures that look very similar to my home. And so we had intended to complement not only my home, but the Stone Ridge, the States of Stone Ridge addition that joins it there on the east, which is north to this plat. So we kept in the same spirit of Union Plaza to this addition, and then on to what's being developed by Jeff Ryka there on our west side.
Are they gonna be two-story, single-story?
For the most part, we want to concentrate on staying in single story. We may have a couple of we don't know exactly what the structure is going to look like. For the most part, we want this to be custom built. Of course, when you've got more than one unit in a structure, you'll have a custom unit and maybe a couple of spec units in that same structure. All of them we're trying to keep, some consistency with the roof ridge line and all that. But we may have, where we have a small lot, we may wind up with a two-story unit, or maybe even a split level, depending on the elevation of the lot.
Is this 1,800 feet? Does it include the carport garage, or is it?
No, it's living area.
Living area only. So
And now
that would be-
we haven't set that as our minimum, but that's one of what we're thinking is our average. There's a lot of things that we're wanting to imply here, and that's just average around 1,800. We're wanting to offer a lot, to the extent that we can, some full ADA compliancy to empty nesters and things of that, people who we believe is our customers.
So would that be single car garage or two-car garage?
Two-car garage.
Okay. So you're 1,600, you're looking at 2,000, 2,200 feet then, roughly.
Per unit, yes,
Okay.
something like that.
10 of these are rentals or sales?
These are for sale.
You mentioned the sidewalk go all the way around the edges on both sides?
Yeah, the design of our street here is a 20-foot wide street with a 3-foot sidewalk on each side. But in actuality, to comply with fire code, we have to have a 26-foot wide street. The usage, we're kind of, the 3-foot sidewalk on each side will be stamped and different. The mix of concrete would be a gray color, or maybe a burgundy or something like that. Maybe a cobblestone stamping or something like that. It actually is, in reality, street, but it'll be used within the addition as sidewalk until a fire truck pulls up, and then they're going to have to get out of the way and let him have that 26-foot wide street.
So there's no green belt between the sidewalk and the street then?
No.
Okay.
Here's an example. I happened to be out at Kids View over the weekend for a birthday party, and I noticed there was a side. I hate to admit it, I'd never been to Kids View before, but I noticed a sidewalk around there. I guess you call it a roundabout or whatever, cul-de-sac, I suppose. There was a sidewalk that was a little bit different elevation, but it was kind of the same idea. the elevation, there won't be a change in elevation between sidewalk and street because in actuality it is all street. It's more of a visual and a feel for the neighbors. You know, we're not going to have a lot of traffic running down to there, and there's not going to be kids playing football or anything like that. It's just not that kind of a development. So for the most part, you know, the center of it would be poured in 20-foot wide street, same as Village in the Park, same as Stone Ridge Edition next door. It is just 20-foot wide. And that's what we'll have for the most part under use for the vehicular activity, but the sidewalk or the call it the fringe portion of the street, most of the residents are going to be using that for sidewalks. That will also continue around coming off of the main drive there to Angela. I'm trying to go to the green belt there between Hawkins Parkway.
Oh, right here.
And that's all intended to be the same sidewalk, and it'll connect back into the street there at the gates, and then down here where it comes off to on that private driveway there. And the way we did in the Stone Ridge Edition, joining it was a shared driveway, 20-foot wide driveway, and we're doing that in compliance with the driveway ordinance. And in here, we're basically the same thing, and there's been changes in code and such, and she can get into a lot better than I can. But we also have a distance factor that's causing us to need 26-foot wide as opposed to 20. So the necessity to get cars by each other, 20-foot works fine. It's the fire truck that we're trying to comply with for that extra 3 feet, and that's why we're not calling it sidewalk, it's actually street.
Okay, thank you. Any additional questions?
I have a question for staff.
Okay.
Let's let them give their report. Thank you. Staff?
Thank you. The applicant is requesting a rezone from agricultural to planned development single-family attached to allow for the construction of a new 23-lot single-family attached subdivision. The proposed site plan does show single-family attached subdivision in clusters of 2 and 3 with a minimum lot size of 1,700 square feet and a minimum house size of 1,200 square feet. The minimum lot width will be 25 feet with a minimum lot depth of 35 feet. All homes will have access onto the proposed private street, which is off of Hawkins Parkway. I believe they have it called Camino Way, but that could change depending on our GIS standards. All homes will have a minimum of 2-car garage and 2 off-street parking spaces in the driveway. The maximum height of the homes will be 2.5 stories, which is typical in all zoning districts inside the city limits, with the exception of Block 5, which will have a 1-story maximum height limitation. Within this planned development, the developer has proposed a 3-foot sidewalk that will run parallel along the street, as he had stated, with the street being 20 feet wide and the sidewalks being 3 foot on each side. Also, the site plan does show an HOA park area along the front of the property adjacent to Hawkins Parkway and some HOA area running along the east and west sides of the property. The developer has proposed to install approximately 21 additional off-street parking spaces for guests within this development. Hawkins Parkway is a minor arterial, which is appropriate for this type of development as long as access management is followed. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
On townhomes, we have a firewall requirement between the units, correct? And does
That's
that go?
correct.
Does that have to go up through the roof line?
That's a good question. I'm not real sure. Maybe one of our builders on the commission could answer that, but I believe it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a roof.
Any additional questions for staff at this time? If not, we will open up the public hearing. Anyone present wishing to speak in support of this application? Looks like I have one speaker card for it. Are you in support or in opposition? Jeff?
you're talking about mine, I don't know.
Reach. Okay, well, why don't you come up, and I'll take whichever you are.
I'm Jeff Reich. I live at 2108 West Country Club Road in Longview. I have the development just west of this. And, you know, I don't know how I feel about it because I don't have enough information. So I guess that's where I'm at with it. I like what they're doing as far as upper end, because that's my development is an upper end development. Stone Ridge is an upper end development. And from what I understand, that's what they're going to do. To me, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't fit the area because it's not zoned properly and trying to go around the zone with being a planned development. But that being said, you know, if we can make sure that it's upper end like they're talking, and it's going to be, you know, which I know he lives right there, so I fully believe it will be. But I didn't have any information when I walked in, so I feel better about it. But it's still a big concern. I've got a lot invested right next door, so that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Well, the current zoning is agricultural.
Well, it is. You know, single family attached or one family attached is a MF1, MF2, or an MF3, the best I understand. There's no MF around. So to get around that, do planned development. You know, I don't think there's any planned development. The only planned development I know of is right in front of the subdivision that I did. And that's because it's such small lot lines, it had to be. I thought this fell under, the whole area for future land use is a low density area. I thought single family attached was a medium density. And this is future land use is low density. So to me, it doesn't fit. But like I said, I don't know, so.
And you have a development there.
Right.
What is your development?
It's SF4. It's single family.
So you have single-family homes here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, not attached?
That's correct.
Okay.
There's nothing attached in that area.
Okay.
So,
Okay, all right.
but like I said, you know, I like what they're doing. I may not have a problem with it at all. I just don't have enough information. But that's my argument.
Okay.
Jackie, what's the price range? What's the price range in the houses in your subdivision?
In mine, the lots are 75 roughly, phase one. So the houses are going to be 150 something a foot. So they'll be, you know, 400,000 to 450 a piece. And minimum restrictions is 2,500 heated and cooled. So, you know, and then right next door at Stonebridge Ridge, I don't know what they are, but they're bigger than what I've got. And then I know across the street, you know, Champions Ridge, you know, they're bigger than what I've got, and their lots are higher than what I've got. So, you know, so I don't know. Like I said, there's a couple of churches in the area. You know, I don't know.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Anyone else wishing to speak during this public hearing?
I can say a few things.
No, sir. It's fine.
Can we ask Kyle another question?
Yeah, we need to close the public hearing, and then we'll do it.
Okay.
Okay, if there be no one else coming to speak during this public hearing in support or opposition to the public hearing is now closed. Now, Commission, do you have some questions still? If you do.
What is the price range of what you're proposing to build over in there? I mean, I know it's not going to be a 450 range, but
Well, obviously, it depends on the size of the unit.
Yeah.
We're looking for $135 to $40 a square foot living area values.
okay. So it'll be a substantial investment. It won't be something somebody can.
I'm sorry?
They'll be rather nice at that rate.
Absolutely, absolutely. We can even see where the smaller units might be a little bit higher per square foot based on lot cost and percentage of total value. But for the most part, we're, you know, we know what basic costs are, and when we start adding amenities to them, it's all just hinging off of our basic costs. And we're running our economics right now at $137 or something like that.
And it'll have an HOA in it?
Absolutely, and it's going to be common maintenance throughout the whole addition. No one there is going to own a lawnmower, even though we don't have the homeowners association owning all the green area, like say in Bramlett Place. There'll be cross easements for the purposes of watering the yards and for maintenance of not only the grass but also shrubbery and things of that nature. So while we have the green belt there, we'll extend that throughout the entire addition. For example, in this here is east. In this northeast corner where she's pointing there now, we intend to put a full green belt across there to protect the view of the John Ford, who lives in that northwest corner of Stone Ridge Addition that we built. And just for the guy that lives south of him, he put up a privacy fence, so we're not as concerned about that. And then from there on, it's either John or myself owning the rest of that property. So, we certainly don't want to build anything there that's going to distract from the value of the home I live in. And for all intents and purposes, I live on the corner there of what's going to be going on here. So, I hope that answered your question.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions from commission at this time? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve as read.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second that we approve application PD 16-07. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Application PD 16-07 stands approved. Staff report?
Thank you. All items at the last city council meeting were approved.
Okay. All right. Do we have any other business to come before the commission at this time? I think yeah, go ahead.
Is Ms. Purtle going to be with us next month?
Who knows? I didn't think you'd be here today.
I didn't either.
Congratulations. It's been great serving with you and working with you here. And
Well, I appreciate it.
it's
Hope I
good to
can
see
make a
you move
difference
on up. Just don't forget us back here. Okay, with that being said, the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting is now adjourned.